Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Trisha Nurhani Regina from class G. Today, I want to present about audience research. The first is introduction. Audience research. There are various types of audience theory depends on characterized by their aspirations and their underlying ideologies. In mass society theory, the mass media possess significant influence and the capacity to modify audience behavior. From Frankfurt School, the ruling elite employ mass media to shape and suppress the lower classes, compelling them to conform to the government's desires and the extreme right-wing nationalist ideology of the Nazis. And from Morley, the early studies on audience and media effects emerged as a reaction against the pessimistic views expressed by F.S. scholars as advocated by American research. The next is criticism. First, assumption of a homogeneous and passive audience. The mass media functioned as a hypodermic needle. In bullet theory or hypodermic needle model, the audience is considered passive, meaning an understanding that considers that society is influenced more by the media. They passively accept what the media says. They accept daily what is conveyed by the media, or in other words, the media of powerful. And the second is assuming media message possess the ability to induce behavioral change. FS research presented media effects as excessively direct, overlooking the pluralistic nature of American society, which differed from German society. Next is the effects tradition. The dominant tradition in audience research that emerged in the United States after World War II. The assumption is media message have a direct and powerful impact on audience behavior and attitudes to orientations or approach. The first is the message effect. Orientation characterized by a behaviorist and empirical perspective. Employ laboratory research is a mind change in audience behavior when exposed to or influenced by media message. And the second is the audience-oriented approach, a structural functional approach and focus on the social characteristic of diverse audience, such as class background, educational levels, and other social factors. These social characteristics influence how audience receive or reject media message. Okay, the next, still the effect tradition. For the example, Yale University research such as Carl Hoffman, Irving Janis, Fred Sheffield with an academic background in psychology. Their study explains that attitude change are closely related to the learning process, where individuals can change their attitudes during the learning process. And Carl Hoffman conducted research on behalf of the US military. The goal is to examine change in attitudes resulting from exposure to media image and to evaluate the effectiveness of this communication material. And exposure to certain media message and image could alter audience behavior. Okay, the next is problems and limitation of such studies. Basicity and the Marxism's Plessio assumptions about society and the media. Society is homogeneous. The theoretical framework is supported by dominant assumptions of empirical and behaviorist functional analysis, and fails to investigate the constructed and manufactured nature of violent image portrayed in television programs and films. Suggests that mass media is the sole cause that encourage violent behavior. The laboratory setting isolates respondents from external influences. The next is critical perspective. Critical perspectives on audience studies begin by advancing several criticisms of the earlier studies and perspectives. The first is heavy reliance on empirical data in understanding and interpreting the meanings of media message and image. The second is the fundamental philosophy and concepts of this perspective still remain nationalist and behaviorist. Okay, the last one is reception analysis, encoding and decoding of media message. Begin by examining communication in a holistic context, viewing the entire communication process as inseparable from society or communication phenomena should be explained by examining the pattern of power relation within society. And audio studies should examine how the process of meaning making of media message by the audience is shaped through social and cultural structures. And a critical approach that evaluates the process of meaning making and examines its relationship with the socio-economic structure of society. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.